Warning. The following program contains explicit content, outrageous opinions, and untrained professionals. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to your uncensored home for World of Warcraft with your hosts, Berzerker and Navox. This is Unshackled Fury.
Another blizzard chicken has flown the coop, sloths are running wild, and another sign of the redemption arc may be on the horizon. Welcome to episode 89 of the Unshackled Fury podcast, your uncensored home for World of Warcraft news and opinions. I'm your host, Berzerker, and with me as always is the Sub-Zero to my Scorpion. He is Navox. Welcome back again, sir.
Man, have you seen the new Mortal Kombat yet?
We did watch it last night.
And what'd you think?
It was terrible.
That's what I keep seeing online. Everybody keeps saying that.
Here's the thing.
I'm seeing all the cheesy stuff.
Parts
and I'm like,
of it,
well, Mortal Kombat's...
Parts of it were awesome. Like, exactly what you want from Mortal Kombat, but holy shit, is that script, like, paper. Like, the biggest fatality to that movie is the script.
Oh,
like,
really?
It is just...
Okay.
It is brutally thin.
So nothing like the 90s movie.
The 90s movie's way better. I mean,
oh my god.
The
okay,
effects
all right.
were better in this one. Like, don't get me wrong. The stuff with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, that was the highlight of the whole movie, but there just wasn't enough of it. But I wish somebody had told me that the scope of this movie was much smaller. Right? Remember how in the first one, like, they're all fighting for, you know, the whole thing, and there's a big tournament, and you're going to, you know, Outland or whatever the fucking thing.
Yeah.
The scope of this one is much, much smaller, and I wish somebody had told me that. And I'm not going to say anything else in case people want to watch it. I don't spoil nothing.
All right.
It definitely wants to be the start of a franchise. There's no doubt about that. But man, the story is just paper thin. So,
oh man!
But the action is badass. So
well, that's good. I guess.
So that's good.
I mean,
nonetheless,
wow.
Welcome back. And as is always popular to ask in a Warcraft podcast, how have you been? And what have you been up to since last we were here?
Oh, well, my raid group, we've been tackling, you know, Mythic Castle Nathria as one does whenever we don't have, you know, a new patch. So we just keep hitting the same stuff over and over again. And it's, oh man, look, I have a lot of fun logging in, and I have a lot of fun raiding with my raid team and downing bosses. It's still fun to kill dragons with your raid team. It's still fun to log in and kill virtual dragons, this, that, and the other. But, when you go in and you have a little bit of a wipe fest on stuff that you're normally clearing, I have a frustration on one of the fights. Like, I've discovered the fun that I have in the game now is playing the Warcraft logs ranking list, because I play an Arms Warrior, and it's a Kyrian, so it's not like the typical build that you should be using for this stuff. You should be using Venthyr, you should be, you know, with Condemn and all that stuff. But so my fun is trying to rank up at doing Warcraft log things, and there's one fight that I just absolutely love, but I cannot seem to make it out of it alive. It's the Huntsman fight on heroic mode, and normal I can blow it up just fine, but on mythic mode I'm going really, really, really fast. It's like you're going so fast, and then all of a sudden you get this target on you, and you have to stack in a certain point, and no matter what I do, I end up dying every single time. I got so mad last raid. I feel bad for my raid team, because I blew off a bunch of... I actually didn't come over voice. I went over raid chat, and I feel bad because I blew up raid chat. MF this, MF that, you know, and
Uh-oh.
but after that, you know, we did our normal clear. I'm helping my wife with her leveling experience in Battle for Azeroth. I'm actually having a lot of fun doing that because
nice.
I was using an alt, and the alt was driving me nuts, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna bring out Nav. He's gonna be, you know, he's my main tune. I want to go quest with my wife using my main tune, and then we do the party sync, and it just seems like, you know, I can hear her dinging up on her side, so it's the level difference isn't all that bad, but I'm having a lot of fun. You get a lot, you know, I didn't realize, you know, I go back and do party sync, and I get all the same quests she's doing, and then we run around and do stuff, and I'm getting gold for turning it in, so that's kind of fun. And then my dumbass also learned this week, because I'm like, how do I level up all of these the Covenant, what do you call them, the conduits? Because I managed to get 226 Covenant, you know, upgrade deal and it's no good for me apparently. When I put it into raid bots, it's no good for me. So I'm looking at my list of all 200 item level conduit items, and I'm like, how do I level these up? And then I go down. I'm like, oh, I think I figured this out, because I didn't know this prior. Down in the Maw, there's that Venari that sells that thing that will upgrade your lowest item.
There you go.
And I look down at my Stygia, and I'm like, well, you know, I have 26. I don't know how much I had. Maybe I had like 26,000 or something like that. So I went down there and I started leveling them. I'm like, okay, great. So I'll get this and I'll level it up, and I can see that I only had 3 items in my prot that weren't up to a certain level. And then I'm like, okay, I have enough to level up all of these items, and then maybe two, you know, and then again some. Well, I wanted to level up. I know this is boring for everybody listening, but I wanted to level up 2 items that were specifically on my conduit tree, which is my Overpower and my Mortal Strike thing. And I blew through all of my Stygia, and finally at the very end, I was able to level up those 2.
Nice.
So I got them from 200 to 213. I didn't realize that, you know, I haven't been doing Maw. I don't do Maw stuff. And I realized that this is why you do Maw stuff. So for all of you out there that are not doing Maw stuff, you're wondering why your conduit items are still item level 200. You go do the Maw stuff, and then you level it up that way.
There it is.
I'm a little slow on the, you know, so there's the reason why.
There it is.
But other than that, you know, that's, you know, pretty much what I've done this past week. How are things in your neck of the woods?
Well, I'm probably going to have edited it out, but I just had a huge water spill on my desk, and we had to kind of pause the situation here. But life is slowly returning to normal, right? And
Yep.
with it comes life and everything else, and you're busy. So, still banging away on heroic. We're there, man. We're getting close. We're like right there. And
Awesome.
And we're definitely at that point too, where it's like, we need these kills. This stuff needs to happen. And on that note, that takes me into this week's rage portion of the show. So why don't we go ahead and jump into that?
Let's rage.
So yes, we've been banging our way through Castle Nathria on heroic. We're a team that typically, you know, takes a little bit longer to get through stuff. We're not bleeding edge raiders, you know, but we try to get the ahead of the curve achievement. Like that's our big thing, right? Is we want to get the heroic deal. We're not a mythic team. That's just not happening. So for us, that's the height of every raid tier, and I have to say, as much as I have enjoyed Castle Nathria as a raid from a sort of, you know, outside perspective, from an inside perspective, it's getting pretty fucking hard. And one of the things that's driving me crazy, and I think a lot of other people on our team, is how goddamn tiny the melee hitboxes are on some of these bosses. It's insane. Like Sludge Fist, Sludge Fist is a huge fucking dude. And there is shit all over the ground, and you're trying to find space in between all these circles, and he's ramming stuff, and there's other things going on, and you have to be like literally right up inside his anus in order to stab him. I mean, it is insane.
And then you're chained. And then you're chained to somebody else.
Yeah.
And there's always that person on the team that you get chained to, and you're like, I'm gonna die.
For most people, that's me, unfortunately. And then, because what happened the first time, right, on that fight is we're like, well, we don't really know what the range on those chains is. And so somebody got chained to me, and I just fucking hit that charge just right away, just pew, and we were both instantly dead. Right, but it's not just Sludge Fist. Really, right now, it's the Stone Legion generals. Like, the hitboxes on these things are way too small. When you're having to run out, the knife thing, whatever that is, and you get that debuff and it bounces around and it whacks it. Like, we have to keep the boss stationary, but we have to stay close to the boss, but people can only run away so far, and it is very, very tricky. And obviously it's doable because people have done it, but goddamn, like, have just a little bit more room for the melee. I mean, this is... I got some long swords, buddy, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And I appreciate, that's part of the difficulty of the encounter is you can't back too far away, right? But holy smokes, the hitboxes, it's just too damn small.
Yeah, no, it is. It absolutely is. And that's, especially on Stone Legion on the Generals fight, they make it so there's a certain way you guys have to stack and stand for that thing. Otherwise, you spread that bleed around, and it is annoying. Because, you go from, I'm trying to think of the bosses. Shrek-wing, you're right up on top of the boss, but he has a pretty good hitbox.
There's a bit of a range there. There's a bit of a range.
Huntsman is okay, but you're still on top of him. Hungering Destroyer has a huge hitbox because you're spread out.
Right.
Yeah, so it is annoying when you're going through those and you end up with one that you have to be right up on the boss's ass to hit him, and then you always end up with range going, I don't know what your problem is. Shut the fuck up. Like, you never have to be in this position.
Keep hitting those two buttons. Problem. Shut up.
Yeah, keep hitting exactly. Face roll across your
Yeah. No, it's Stone Generals in particular. It's a very mechanically right. It's a great fight because you're having to manage all these little things, where you've got you're stacking on one and then you're not stacking on other stuff, and you're trying to keep distance on things, and some people have to go back to some shit on the ground, and you're trying to rotate out who's standing in the poo, and there's a lot of moving parts, and the unforgivable nature of that hitbox it fucks us so bad.
Yeah.
And especially if you're on a melee heavy team, like, you're really definitely fucked, even though it sounds like things are trending towards range nowadays, and I can see why. This is why. It's a conspiracy, Nav. I'm telling you. C-O-N-spiracy. You heard it here first.
It's gonna be a paywall thing that they're gonna put in game for us. They'll make us pay extra money to have a larger hitbox on some of these fights.
That'll be one of the Venari buffs. Larger hitbox.
Yep.
Get you to do them all.
The boss, you got to do them all.
10,000 Stygia. You fuckers. Anyway, hopefully when we head off to the next raid and fight Sylvanas, she'll have a bigger hitbox. But my guess is we're probably gonna have to be like, right up on her, which I'm not so sure about that. But that's what's getting me for right now. Little hitboxes. Hopefully we'll see that open up a little bit in the next batch. And speaking of, why don't we go ahead and move on to our news, because we've got a few things to talk about there. So let's go. So since we were last here, patch 9.1 has hit the PTR, and I'll be honest, there's a shit ton of spoilers on there, so I don't really know a whole lot about what's going on because I'm trying to avoid it. Now, I have seen some pretty interesting, let's say, models getting data mined and some other stuff, because it's absolutely impossible to miss this stuff now when you have, as we've long lamented, the kind of things happening with data mining and stuff not being hidden behind, links on social media and elsewhere. You pretty much just have to disappear. So not a whole lot from our end right now to talk about in terms of 9.1 on the PTR, because there just is a lot of spoilery stuff, and as is typical of our show, we'll wait until there's a little bit more official word on some things, because that's how we roll. So we are seeing a lot of spoilers right now. There is the intro quest line right now that's up, where when we have a big patch come through and there's lots of storyline stuff, you want to play through it. And it's like we had the war campaign, right, in Battle for Azeroth, and so it's that similar kind of thing where when you jump into a new patch, whatever it's tied to, there's always that long quest line that you're heading into. But with that now in place, so it's middle of April when that hit, late April here now. Typically, we're looking at about a 2 to 3 month development timeline for when a patch hits the PTR, from when we actually see it. So if my math is right, Nav, we're not looking at 9.1 until late June or early July?
Oh, wow.
Is that right?
That sounds about right, yeah.
So, just as kind of a quick refresher of what we do know about patch 9.1 is that we're going to this new zone, Korthia, the City of Secrets, which is another crazy-looking chained island to Torghast or whatever else is going on. There are going to be some more Torghast stuff. Speaking of, there's going to be the Sanctum of Domination raid, which is the one where we'll fight Sylvanas at the end. There's going to be more Covenant stuff going on. There's going to be 40 more levels of Renown, which I know everybody is super excited about. But one of the things that did come a little bit ago was also the Encounter Journal is now in place for the Sanctum of Domination raid. And I don't think it gives anything away. But for Sylvanas, it says players battle Sylvanas atop Torghast while spanning the in-between and finally atop the convergence of the Shadowlands itself. So it sounds like the battle at the top of the spire type deal was, that's some pretty epic shit, right?
Sure.
So Kel'Thuzad will be the second to last boss apparently. So I'm just gonna, okay, there's Kel'Thuzad. He's back. I don't know how or why, because I didn't play that storyline yet, but there he is. There's a remnant of Ner'zhul, so we're gonna fight Ner'zhul. That's it. Encased in shadow steel, the lost soul spends its eternity in torment. So Ner'zhul's poor little soul is still around getting fucked. We're gonna fight Odin's Eye. It's the Eye of the Jailer, but I'm pretty sure it's Odin's Eye. And then some other stuff. The Nine. That sounds like a Nazgul reference. So some interesting stuff coming forward, and while I do not partake in a lot of the spoilery stuff going on, Nav, have you poked around anything yet? Is there anything that's of particular interest that you've seen so far? Are you gonna see these intro quest lines yourself?
Oh, well, I'm not gonna ruin it for me on the PTR. Like I have a, I don't know, I usually like to jump in and do beta stuff for the new expansion when it comes out, but for these one-off, these little updates of the game, I never jump in and actually check it out. I always wait for it to just hit the live server, and then I'll go out to Wowhead and just see all the spoilery stuff. And I was really interested to see that Kel'Thuzad is. You would think he would be one of the last guys, and he is one of the last guys one of the last bosses, but I'm really surprised that it just, I guess Sylvanas Windrunner is more powerful than Kel'Thuzad if he's the second to last person we're fighting there. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, Kel'Thuzad sticking around. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, looking ahead, so we clearly we have some time. Like there's going to be some time till 9.1 hits, and it's been a pretty slow time, I think, for everybody for the most part. You're kind of reaching at this point to either finish some things or look into some new things. So it's going to be a while, but looking ahead, eventually, when it comes of what we know, what are you most excited about with 9.1 as far as what we know? And if anything, what has you worried at this point about 9.1, or what are you concerned about with what you're seeing?
Well, so far I'm not seeing a lot of stuff, and this is purely selfish here. I'm not seeing a lot of stuff for the Warriors. And that is, I'm seeing a lot of other class updates come out, but I haven't seen a lot of stuff for the Warrior. And I know that I'm playing Arms, and I really want something to be done about Arms to buff it a little bit. We need a buff for that. The other thing I'm looking at are the Covenant. They're adding more things to the Covenant, and they're gonna add like 40 more levels of Renown, things like that, and it's just I'm glad they're doing stuff to it. I'm just not looking forward to doing more of the grind, because I like the game to be. I like it when the game is okay. I've got through to the end of the game. I'm able to do my raid, and then I can also level up my alts. Well, this expansion hasn't been very alt friendly for me, I think, and I think that's kind of annoying, because I do like playing my alts. I'm looking forward to the flying. But other than that, it's again, you're only able to fly in the zones, which is not a big deal. You can't fly from one zone to Ouroboros, or you can't fly in the mall, that's fine. I don't need to be flying in the mall.
Yeah.
As long as I can mount up in the mall, which we will be able to, that'll be nice. But yeah, I'm not gonna be, to answer the question. No, I'm not gonna be poking around the PTR. I'm gonna wait to hit live, and then I'll jump in like everybody else.
There you go. Yeah, it's going to be nice to get those sort of quality of life improvements. We always get these, later on in the expansion where, okay, we get the flying or we get the catch-up mechanics, and we'll talk about that here with something else in just a second. But definitely finding out where this story is going I feel like more so than any other expansion, the route of this story has been shrouded in mystery the entire time. Like, we don't, and to its purpose of, who is the jailer? What is going on? Who are these people? Why are we here? What's happening? What's the relationships here? Like, there's a lot of these open threads that are purposely being left open, and it feels like, at least with this patch, we should be getting more answers, which will be nice. And certainly nice for us to be able to talk about and give our thoughts on whether there were hits or misses or whatever. But just in terms of, in general, where are we going? Like, where in Warcraft are we going? Because we seem to have just a sense of being kind of stuck, which is probably what they want. We're stuck here in Shadowlands and in the mall, and we don't really know what's going on. And so finding that out, I think, will be really nice. The additional Torghast stuff, I mean, we'll see. Maybe they've got some reworks there that'll make it exciting again, because to be honest, I haven't touched it in quite some time, because it just hasn't been as rewarding again as I had hoped. There is a bit of a concern on my part that there really isn't a way to make it as exciting as it might have been initially, and maybe that's more on me than it is on them, but hope that comes through. But really, what's going to happen at the end of this raid? Because our story will go through those quest lines, right? But then ultimately it'll culminate in the raid and wherever we end up. So really interested to see where that takes us. The mega dungeon that's coming. We got this mega dungeon that's coming with this infinite pirate dragon thing. Maybe I missed it. I still don't understand why that's such a thing, but yeah, it's a thing, and we'll see it. I'll see it. Maybe I'll get it then. I'm like, oh, that was the shit. Well, one part of this that I'm glad to see finally have confirmed, because we talked about this months and months and months ago, was the fact that Charlemagne is the sword that got turned into Kingsmorn, which should be called, again, Shalamorn, but be that as it may.
I know.
Steve Danuser did confirm that it is, in fact, the same sword. And now it begs the question, can the sword be redeemed along with Anduin? Or is this some other situation where, someone's going to fly out with a light sword like the Ashbringer and shatter it? And
Oh, jeez.
oh, boy.
Yeah.
Here we go. So we did, kind of on that note, we did have an interview recently that came out with our boy Ian Hazakostas, and this was with a Chinese outlet. This was with, and I'm totally gonna blow this name. I apologize. Do you streamer in China, and they had some questions from the Chinese World of Warcraft community, the same as we do, right? Like, where are we going? What's up? What's going on? A lot of good questions here. Some general stuff. We got some Mythic Plus stuff, if you're into that. They had some class questions, which are always great. But the big ones to me were, what are the catch-up mechanics? What's going on with the reward systems? Like, what's going on there? And for me, I was really glad to hear that they agree that the alternate Great Vault option of Stygia is bullshit.
Yeah.
Because that is not rewarding. Like you feel like you're like, yes, I got my bosses down, I got my 3 bosses down, or I got my 6 bosses down, or whatever it is, and I get some fucking Stygia, which is not even a very high amount. So it's like, well, that was a fucking waste of time. And I've seen you on our Discord and other places like, well, it's another fucking week of bullshit. Like, and you're not the only one. I see it all the time.
Yep.
Like, people are really disappointed with how that has played out this far into the patch. Like initially it's great because you're getting these, drops that you're like, oh, great, that's gear.
Yeah.
But that quickly falls off. And that's the problem, right? That's where the bonus roll kept you going, because you could keep that targeted at something that you really needed. Now it's like, well, you either get something you've probably seen 10 times, or you get some shit that you're just like, I'm over it. And
yeah, I don't even do Mythic Plus because of this anymore. Like, I don't do Mythic Plus. Like, I rely solely on that little. I'll we're at the point where I just get one upgrade from the vault, because we only kill so many Mythic raid bosses for that week, and then it's hit or miss. And for the past couple of weeks, it's been the same item that I've had on my character. It's annoying that it won't. I would love to go back to a roll system where I can, 3 or 4 weeks on Hungering Destroyer, I can't get shoulders or pants to drop.
Yeah.
It's like, well.
Yeah, I mean, this, every expansion is an experiment in its own right. Where we're going to try a different system, see how that works. Initially, again, I think the Great Vault works, but over a longer timeline, it stops being effective, right? And maybe that's where you give people an option where after you get so many of a certain currency, maybe then you can get a bonus roll. Where they, instead of Stygia, they give you, I don't know, Great Vault coins or some shit. And maybe when you get 5 of them, you can turn them in for a bonus roll. So that way you are still working towards something, right? Because it's just, I don't know. It doesn't feel fun. But it's nice to hear that they are aware of it, that they are working on it, that the catch-up mechanics for both new players and for alt characters, like, they're going to start ramping that stuff up. And for somebody like myself, I love that, because I'm super lazy about my alts. I still haven't started any of them yet, and I still want to see these Covenant campaigns, so I know I've got to get going here at some point. So at least with those kinds of catch-up mechanics, always great to hear that. We did have a question from our Discord about Ian going out there for some interviews, and if we could ask him any question, what question would we ask him? You had a great one when we chatted about this before the show, Nav. What was your question?
Why does he hate warriors so much?
Boom.
And that was pretty much it. That'd be my one question to Ian. Ian, why do you hate? Like, honestly, I think he just goes to bed going, "What can I do to screw over the warriors next?" He's probably got like post-it notes all over his monitor that says "fuck Mortal Strike."
There it is.
Decrease, things like I can just no. I'm tongue in cheek here, guys.
Where's the warrior buff? That's
right.
The
exactly.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big question to me, honestly, right now is just how their workflow is going, because we have expectations typically about the turnaround time for patches and for patch cycles, and that has changed with COVID and the pandemic. That has changed. Clearly, we're taking longer to get to places where we would have been sooner. And so I know that they can't give hard and fast dates. And in this interview, they did ask, well, it looks like you have both Burning Crusade beta and 9.1 beta starting at the same time. Is there going to be a similar release date? And it didn't sound like it. You know, there's always waffly answers, right? There's no, yes, one is coming out June 1st, the other one's coming out July 1st. Nothing like that. But I would like to get a sense of what is the timing going to be like from here on out. Like, is this temporary? Should we expect like a 6 to 7 month cycle between major patches, or is it just a byproduct of what's happening right now and maybe things speed up? Because I do worry, based on some of the things that we've talked about in the past with respect to Activision Blizzard and them pushing for releases and stuff like that, does Shadowlands kind of get bailed on because it's taking so long? Do we just, shove as much stuff into one patch instead of having 2 patches? It's like, we'll take the major stuff from 2 patches and put it into one because we don't have enough time anymore because it's taking too long. Like, do we have that kind of compaction headed our way? Like, that would suck. I wouldn't like to see that. I still want to see the story as they intended, but this long between major patches is tough. That's really tough. So that would be my question there, Jer. I would want to know what is their intention with turnaround times for major patches. Is it going to continue to take this long? Are they hoping that it'll shorten up as the pandemic subsides here as the year goes on? That would be my major question. But do you have any other question? Do you have a more serious question, or is it still when's our buff?
No. No. I know that through the cycles, and he even talked about it in the interview, where through the cycles that you have to balance between ranged and melee, and right now it does seem like it's just more ranged favored over melee. Other than that, I would love to know. I know they couldn't really talk about it anyway. I would just love to know what their idea is for this game down the road, because this feels like a speed bump of an expansion. Like it just doesn't feel like your normal expansion, and a lot of it does have to do with what we were dealing with the pandemic and things like that. I imagine, but it has me questioning what the game's going to look like in the future with future expansions, because I don't know, the past expansions, even though pardon me, the past expansions, even though I felt they were a little bit more complete at this point in time. I with the exception of we had Kata, which wasn't all that great, things like that. But this one, I don't know if it just feels like it's being, it feels just like it's being put together day by day. Like, oh, and now we're doing this, and now we're doing, oh, hey, we're gonna put this in now. It's just like I don't know.
It's hard to see the vision right now.
Yeah, it's hard to see the vision right now. That's exactly it. I don't want it to end up like, I don't want the vision to end where it feels like it has with StarCraft or Overwatch even. It's just, or heck, the brakes have been put on Diablo. I know it's in development, yeah, but look at the other 3 franchises. It's like, it's just, I don't want I don't know. I don't want the music to stop,
That's right. That's right. It's hard to see right now. And but this is a pretty good interview if you want to get a sense of kind of where some things are headed or are not headed, because there were some questions asked about, hey, are you guys thinking about this? And they're like, nope, not right now, but that is something we could think about. So it's a very polite way of saying no. But there are some outlets out there. Wowhead, I know, has a pretty good write-up for this interview, so feel free to take a look. Another piece of news that was announced, and I totally missed this when this happened, because that's just how things are going. But a new book, a new novel, a new World of Warcraft novel has been announced, and it is simply titled Sylvanas.
Yep.
That is going to be coming our way November 9th of this year, so start taking your guesses now as to how that coincides with either future patches or BlizzCons or whatever it is. The audio version of this will be read by Patty Mattson, the voice of Sylvanas, which that is pretty cool.
That I'll pick it up that way. As I know that I was gonna get the book, and then I saw that I'm just gonna get the audio version. Sorry, I'll listen to it.
That's pretty hard to pass up when you get one of the actual people, and this is like the person, and this is their book. Like, that's pretty rad. So here is what they had to say about the book. Ranger General, Banshee Queen, War Chief, Sylvanas Windrunner has borne many titles. To some, she is a hero. To others, a villain. But whether in pursuit of justice, vengeance, or something more, Sylvanas has always sought to control her own destiny. The power to achieve her goals has never been closer, as Sylvanas works alongside the jailer to liberate all Azeroth from the prison of fate. Her final task? Secure the fealty of their prisoner, King Anduin Wrynn. To succeed, Sylvanas will be forced to reflect on the harrowing path that brought her to the jailer's side and reveal her truest self to her greatest rival. Here, Sylvanas' complete story is laid bare, from the breaking of the Windrunner family and her rise to Ranger General, to her own death at the hands of Arthas and her renewed purpose in founding the Forsaken, to the moment she first beheld the Maw and understood the true consequences of what lay beyond the veil of death. But as her moment of victory draws near, Sylvanas Windrunner will make a choice that may ultimately come to define her. A choice that's hers alone to make. Well, are we talking retrospective? Or are we talking about redemption here, Navo?
Oh, it's gonna be a redemption story.
Motherfucker.
I think it's gonna be a redemption story. But who knows? Maybe she explodes and it's like, and then I buff all warriors, boom, and then all warriors get. No, I'm just playing. No. I'll stop. No, it'll be a redemption storyline. I also don't think this is the end. You know, I don't think this is gonna be the end of Sylvanas Windrunner. Mm-hmm. She's too powerful of a character to write out. You know, so. She may go the way of like Illidan or something, like boom, off somewhere distant.
Fighting the jailer for eternity.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's it. Everybody, that's how all of the great powers end. They just fight for eternity. That's it.
Forever pitted in battle.
We don't know what to do with these guys, so that's it. They just fight forever.
Well, what's funny about this is what this part of the book anyway is talking about is stuff that's happening right now. And by the time November rolls around, like this will have happened a long time ago. So it's really interesting that they've decided to do this book where for me this kind of feels like the sort of Arthas style where here's the whole story about this person, and while Varian did have his own book which was great, this kind of has a different feel to it where it's, you know, here's the whole complete story. And so I'm thinking she might have pieced out by the time this book rolls around.
All right,
because now something, let's plays out in the sense that we have a patch come June, July, and we have another patch come October-ish, November-ish, right? And somewhere in that neighborhood. This will coincide with like a 9.2, let's say, or a 9.1.5, like somewhere in that neighborhood. And what could be shed at that point in terms of light on something that we don't yet know? And how is this book going to tie into that? To me, if you're going to have the book, that means you're going to have to know stuff ahead of time, because there's going to be advanced copies, there's going to be other stuff, and they can't afford to let like a spoiler leak. So I feel like whatever we're going to see in 9.1, I think that might be it. I think that might actually be it.
Hey, it's a good point, because once this book goes out, it's going to get leaked. Friend of a friend said on Reddit,
exactly.
Look, here's a post.
Exactly.
It's like, what?
That's exactly it. So, but I have pre-ordered the book. I will be reading it. As I've said before, I'm not the biggest fan of this character, but she is cool as shit. Like it's hard to ignore. She's a great character. It just, you love to hate her, I guess, is kind of the thing, because as an Alliance favored player as I am, like this person has really done some damage and you want to see justice, right? The whole concept of justice as we've come to know it in this age of Warcraft. I mean, who knows what that looks like? Maybe her and Arthas locked in battle forever next to Illidan and kill Jaden or whoever, Sargeras, something like that. But we'll see. So Nav, you'll listen to it. I'll read it, and then we'll have our review. Christy Golden's a little harder to get a hold of in terms of author interviews, so I don't know that we'll be able to snag her like we were Madeline Rue, but we'll try. We will try. We'll see what we can do for you folks. Speaking of longtime Blizzard associated folks, we did get the news that Jeff Kaplan has left Blizzard. Now, Jeff Kaplan, old Papa Jeff, who's been running the Overwatch scene for quite a long time, he bailed out recently and didn't really say a whole lot other than he's leaving Blizzard. He's also not a fan of capitalization, I've noticed, with all of his sentences starting with lowercase. I don't know. Maybe that's just what he does. But after 19 years, I would have held out for the 20th just to get that helm. So,
right.
I don't know how that went, but he stepped away and he's leaving Blizzard after 19 years. And for those of us in the Warcraft community that have been around, we remember him as Tiggle. As in Tiggle Biddies, and I can't believe that that never comes up, but Tiggle was his name, as sort of his avatar when he was working in WoW dev way back when. He was actually one of the lead guys, if not the lead guy, on Wrath of the Lich King, which, credit to him, still the greatest. But he left the Warcraft team, went over to what was the Titan team, and worked on that for a number of years. And as we know, Titan was this secret, mythical, whatever, next-gen MMO, whatever the fuck it was supposed to be, that just flamed out internally. And the ashes of that became Overwatch, and he took the lead of that and has been running it ever since. But he's gone. And that's pretty weird to see another one of these long-time, stalwart, known Blizzard entities bailing out, and we've seen a lot of these lately. And I don't know, do you think this could be a Dreamhaven poach?
Possibly, yeah, possibly.
Does make you wonder what's going on out there. When we have departures like this, right, and we all scream, "Oh, that's it! The old guard is leaving. It's all gone. It's not going to be like that anymore." Well, there was an interesting tweet I saw from Adam Holiski, who used to work for Blizzard Watch, online Blizzard resource article folk, Blizzard Watch. Mm-hmm. And he works for Blizzard now, and he actually had an interesting tweet about this, saying, hearing, quote, "all the old guard has left Blizzard," end quote, a lot again, but there's still a lot of old guard people there. You just don't know their names. And they're really cool people who have contributed just as much as the marquee names. So I think for some of us, that's kind of nice to hear. Is like, the sky isn't falling. Just chill out. Like, yes, somebody that has left, but that doesn't matter. There are literally thousands of people working there. So just for context, it's not like Jeff was the only Overwatch guy, right?
Right.
The only guy that was part of Warcraft. But I think we know Jeff now, or Jeff Kaplan now, as this like gentle, he's Papa Jeff. He's reading to us by the fireside. He's this, super chill, dude everybody wants to be with, whatever. Well, you have something that somebody dug up from when so where Jeff Kaplan got his start was he was actually the GM of a really well-known EverQuest guild. Like, that's where all of this started. And he was known for having these just epic rants. And you found one. So why don't you read this to the folks?
So this was just a quest that had to do with fixing one of the raid encounters, and back in there's a key you'd go through and you do these key quests, and then once you get keyed, you'd be able to go into the encounter and do your raid. You weren't able to just walk into a raid and EverQuest as you can in WoW. Like, you'd have to actually be keyed and then go into it. So it was that's how you got into the raids.
Okay.
So during one of the expansions, I'm just gonna read the post, and you can read it for yourself. It's out there on Reddit. Just type in, Jeff Tiggle Kaplan EverQuest rant. So here goes. So here's the post. Whoever came up with this sheer fisting of an encounter can go fuck themselves. Do me a favor so I won't waste my guild's time on this kind of jackass shitfest again. Send me an email and it's got his email out there at legacyofsteel.net, when you decide to A, implement an encounter that wasn't designed by, and we're going to bleep this part out because we don't want that in there, because it's not even
by
bad,
an R word.
It's the R word chimp chained to a cubicle. Get a quality assurance department, get a quality assurance department, and he jumped right to C. Actually beta test the fucking thing, and D, patch it live. And please, for God's sakes, do it in the order that I laid out for you. Don't worry, I won't charge you a consulting fee on that one. And for good luck, you might as well pull your heads out of your asses. While you're at it, rename the game Beta Quest, since you've used up your allotted false advertising karma on the bazaar and the user interface scam of 01. Fix the Emperor encounter. Fix Saru. These are all bosses in raids. Rethink your time sync bullshit. Fix all the buggy motherfucking ring encounters. I suggest you let whoever made the Burrower one do this, since that dude apparently laid off the crack the rest of you are smoking. Fix the VT key quest. Fix VT. Guessing it's fucked up considering your track record. Don't have the resources to fix this stuff. Move the entire Planes of Power team over to fixing Shadows of Luklin, and do it now. If you don't fix Luklin, you jackasses will be the only one playing Planes of Power. So Planes of Power was an expansion after Shadows of Luklin. So it was
Woo!
Yeah, so, and it's not only him, you go out here to this and you find out that a lot of these WoW monks, these peaceful guys, like had an alternative, play style back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, you had Fraziabi out here posting too. It's like, 14 days after that time, the plane is not properly tuned, I'm deleting my characters and canceling all of my accounts and yada, yada, yada. So listen,
People can change. People can change.
People can change, absolutely. But, it's like...
Well, holy shit, that is not the face of the guy that we've been seeing in recent
by
years.
the fireside.
Oh.
I should have read it like a fireside. Whoever came up with the sheer fisting of an encounter can go fuck themselves.
That is
just really just
You know what? And I get it, man. I've been there. When I first started
Stone Generals.
Stone Generals, bro. That's
go.
right. Yeah. Whoever came up with these hitboxes, sheer fisting of a hitbox, go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Woo! So anyway, Jeff Kaplan, he will be missed. I have a feeling we'll see him around because this.
Dreamhaven. We'll see it we'll see him come up in Dreamhaven, whatever they're playing. I'll buy it because it's that group of guys.
I don't doubt it, and Metzen's Ouroboros D&D thing is just fucking blown up, and they're doing...
I bet you that'll probably come out in a digital format. It's probably made from the hit D&D.
There's the next MMO, dude.
Crowdsourced. Yep, that's the next MMO.
That's it.
There it is.
That's it. Ouroboros 2030. Watch it happen. So, speaking of things that people are paying for, the Blizzard Vault, I guess they're calling this, has been opened. So for their 30th anniversary, which is going on right now, they are releasing these super high-end special edition items. And the one that they've released so far, this is for April, is just a gorgeous Lich King statue. And it's, it's the creme de la creme, right? Like, this thing it's huge. It's like twice as big as any of the other statues they've done. super detailed, looks hella nice. It's also $1,000. So
Yep.
the question I have for you, Nav, because I can answer this question for myself, is $1,000 too much to ask for a great vault item?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, that's way too much money, especially with everything going on in the world right now. Yes, that's way too much to ask for a collectible item.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with that one.
I mean, yeah, no, that's especially if it doesn't move, because I mean, there's a transforming Optimus Prime that's $700.
Yeah,
So I mean, you look at that compared to this, and you're like, huh.
That's a fair point.
So
Doesn't even, if his eyes lit up, or the actual blade lit up and stole a soul here and there, like that'd be kind of that'd be worth $1,000. You know, maybe when the Varian statue comes out for $1,000, that's gonna be.
I mean, it's polyresin. It's the same shit it's close to the same shit you used to get when you'd go to one of the zoos and you'd put $1 in and it would inject, plastic into a mold and
it's not like a bronze statue. They
right.
would probably be like $5,000, but it's still pretty fucking nice. And because I have the Warcraft 3 Arthas statue one back here that I got, and it's pretty amazing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, and I've said it before. It's worth every penny I paid, but I'm not paying $1,000, not for that. No. But what you can also get, which is not $1,000, which is, I think, a really good deal, is you can get a print of the Samwise Didier concept art of Arthas. It's an 8x10 print. It's $30, and it is a limited release 30th anniversary thing that Samwise Didier did, and I did buy one. So
I think that one looks good. It looks like you would like a sketch on, just like he was just sitting in a meeting sketching it out.
Yeah.
Like something like that. It looks really, really good,
It's pretty sweet. And I do have a couple of Samwise Didier pieces in my house. I do have a couple of his prints that he signed. So I'm a big fan of his, and I love his style. So to see that, I was pretty happy. And I believe, if you look at the date on this, it's signed by him circa like 2000. So this is like a 21-year-old concept piece.
Yeah.
So that I do think is worth the money. And I didn't see that initially, and I was like, can I please get the concept art? Like, is that the thing I can? Yes, you can. So so that is out there. If you've got the money to spend, God bless you. It does look amazing. It's not $1,000. It's $1,099.99. So it's about $1,100. I don't know if that makes a difference. The extra $100.
That's your shipping. They tack the shipping in the
there you go.
the packaging and shipping it.
So we should have another. It's the second Thursday of every month is when one is going to be released. So we should get one here in a couple weeks, and we'll see what that is. Is there anything? Think about all of Blizzard. All the games they've made, all the eras that they've been in. Is there anything that they could make that would get you to spend $1,000?
Oh man, $1,000. Okay, so I'll say, like, if they did and this is make believe world, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
So $1,000. If they did a full Lego box set of Stormwind City, maybe. I'm saying everything: the Night Elf District, the port, the castle,
The whole deal.
So the whole deal. So if it comes in like 20 boxes of Legos or something like that you're putting together, and you need to clear off the dinner table. Well,
yes,
the dinner table and half the living room.
Yes.
For it. It's like
it needs its own room. I can see that.
It needs its own room, right?
Okay.
So if you're a single guy, or I'll go down that road. That's your playroom, but you have to get the permission of significant other to be like, listen, we're gonna dedicate one of these rooms to this thing.
Yeah.
Then I could see that.
Okay, that's pretty good. It's hard to think of.
Why don't you come back to my place? Wait till you see my model.
It's hard to say like what What could they be working on? Because there's what? One, let's see. Yeah, it's only through November, it looks like. So it's not the whole year.
Yeah.
But they do have a few more. I have kind of a random one, but if they made this, I would spend $1,000 on it, which is in StarCraft 2.
Okay.
On the ship, there's a bar. If they made the jukebox that is in that bar,
there you go.
I'd buy that for $1,000.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you put like all the Blizzard soundtracks in there.
Yep. There you go. That's another good one.
I would easily spend $1,000 on that and not tell my wife. 100%. and then when that shows up, I have a lot of explaining to do. It can live with me on the couch in the garage. That'll be its permanent home. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, every month from here through November, second Thursday of every month of those months, they're going to release whatever it is. And I guess we'll provide some commentary on whether or not that was a good idea.
I will say that I'm not a horde guy. I'm not a horde guy by any means, but I will say that Vol'jin model looks really cool too for $60. That one looks pretty neat.
There you go.
I like the colors on it. So I mean, I think that's what drew my eye to is just the nice colors of it.
I mean, they've got some great stuff. If you look on their shop, and we've talked about their shop a few times on here, there is some really good art stuff. They just put out some new StarCraft prints too. There's like the kind of the main cover art for the 3 StarCraft 2 expansions. I love the way that like Jim Raynor in that suit looks, with the Terran Marine deal. I love it. And I don't have anywhere to put it right now. I don't have anywhere to put that Arthas thing either from Samwise. Fuck it, I'm going to find it. Check it out. And there's some, there's kind of one for every price range. So give them a peek. You never know what you might find. We did get something for free recently, which is that the Doctors Without Borders campaign was successful in raising $1 million.
That's amazing.
That's pretty damn good, folks. So the community should feel really good about itself. You raised $1 million.
And thank you to the community. Yep, absolutely.
Wild. So you got yourself a sloth. And if you go to the store and you can claim your sloth, big question might be is, okay, I've seen it on the ad. How do I get it to do things? Well, when you summon it and you move away from it, the fucker crawls at literally a sloth speed. It is slow as hell, and it's not.
I gotta try that. I haven't tried it yet.
It's ridiculous. You're like, come on, dude, let's go. I gotta go. Well, here's the trick. If you want the sloth to ride on your back, you have to /beckon. If you do that, it will jump on your back while you run around. Now, when you mount up, it disappears, and you have to do it again. But if you're running around, you do /beckon, it'll jump on your back, and then you get a little buff, and it says, oh, Daisy's riding you, or whatever it is. And off you go. So, when you see when you see it, Nav, you'll have to let me know what you think about it. Because I know I was kind of like, at first, and then when it was crawling slow, I was like, and then it jumped on my back, and I'm like, all right. That is kind of cool. So, last thing we've got, just wanted to bring it to folks' attention if you haven't seen it. Universal Pictures, which was responsible for, or at least partially responsible for the Warcraft film that we got. They've recently put out 14 minutes of deleted scenes. No context for this. They just put them out. And there's some pretty interesting shit in there. Like, not all the scenes are done. Some of it you can still see, like the blue backgrounds, or like in some of it, Garona Paula Patton doesn't have the green tint. They haven't done it to her skin yet, but she's got the teeth, which is just ridiculous. But you get to see our boy Metzen. You get a little more screen time with Metzen. There's a really cool scene with Grom Hellscream where he's all raging out and shit. And what was really cool and somewhat disappointing at the same time about that movie is they had like all the warlords, like the warlords from Draenor, like those guys. All those characters were in the movie, but you had to like find them. They weren't prominent. They weren't featured really in a lot of ways. And so if you look through it, there's so many little Easter eggs for the players, and it was nice to see that one for Grom. But there's really cool stuff there. If you get a chance, check it out. Listen, got 250,000 views, and it's only been out like 10 days at this point, so maybe this is how you generate interest for the sequel.
Yeah.
I believe in it, Nav. I haven't quit yet.
I don't know why there's not a director's cut of this thing, because it had some pretty good stuff in there, so I don't know why they didn't have a director's cut with all this stuff just left in it. So
maybe the success of the Snyder cut will get us the, the Warcraft. That's what we need is the Jones cut. The Jones cut of the Warcraft movie. Oh, boy. Come on. Just tell the tale of Arthas. That's all you got to do. People will love it. This Mortal Kombat movie is not going to help with video games. I'm just telling you. Anyway. All right. Well, I think that will do it for this episode. Other than this fine program, where can the good people find you on the internet, Navox?
You can always find me out there on Twitter. I'm at NAV_OX.
As for me, you can always find me on Twitter at Berzerker Rage and this show at Unshackled_Fury. Feel free to contact the show with your questions, comments, or otherwise by going to unshackledfury.com. And you can find this show wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Spotify, and Pandora. So once again, thank you for listening. Remember to keep your swords wet and your banners high. We'll see you next time. Farewell.